Emergency automotive YouTube realness levels are getting dangerously low.
Hello YouTube, it's Negative57, your virtual car friend. Last week was my first video to revamp my old channel, and I think it went well. Overall, the reception was pretty positive. I usually read all the comments, and I enjoy talking with people, arguing with people, and I'm glad so many of you liked that video and overall understood the message. Except for one guy. That guy, he didn't seem to take kindly to my avant-garde ideas, and it kind of gave me the inspiration for this next video. Those car guys. We all know who I'm talking about. Those car guys are the ones that can never be happy with anything you have. Those car guys are the ones that can never be happy with anything else around them. And they'll push their own incorrect ideas on you simply because they're too afraid to admit that they might be wrong. The ones that'll tell you that life is too short to drive a stock car. You need to mod it. All while their 240 has been on jack stands for the past 5 years. It's basically an aberrant form of gatekeeping where the only people that they think that they can let in are idiots like them, ones that have made the same mistakes, so that way they can kind of coddle themselves with other people into thinking that, oh yeah, if other people do it, it can't be wrong. Right? I'm not wrong. If these other people are doing it, there's no way I could be wrong. Well, that's not exactly true. Everybody is going to make a bad decision at one point or another. It's inevitable. Nobody's perfect. When I was young, I put an S15 Sylvia badge on my S13 240SX. What the No! You know, it happens. We all make mistakes. It comes with the territory of being young and generally lacking experience. Whether it's trying to use RTV on a head gasket, or thinking that you're gonna buy a shell, a non-running rusty shell of a car, and get it up and going and a show car in one summer while you're flipping burgers. Doesn't work that way. Now, making a bad decision is fine because it's an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow. You realize, hey, that didn't work. I should have done this. This would have been an easier pathway. Oh, maybe next time. I bought this cheap part last time. Maybe I'll buy a better brand this time. Now, the issue comes up when you actively try to encourage bad decisions. You encourage other people to make these bad decisions that you're making. And people do that so that way they don't have to face that their decision they made was really wrong. You can't accept it. Whether you know, can't accept that you wasted $5, $10, $15,000 or more building a car that barely runs right when you could have bought the nicest example for $12,000. And this brings me to my commenter. I'm gonna censor his name, you know, because I kind of feel bad for him. But let's see what he had to say here. So he says, finishing up my 240 currently. Bought it for $3,200 in 2015. Spent $7,000 to $8,000 on the past 4 years rebuilding it. Going negative every week to afford it. So yeah, no. I don't think you can make a nice 240 for $10,000 nowadays. Speaking from actual experience. Injuku Gold member, by the way. Okay, so first off, did you watch the video? Because I think I made that point myself pretty well. I built my 240 for $10,000. You know, albeit it might not be a TikTok wide body VSKF hot boy build, but I know my 240 is pretty damn nice. And I know you want to drive it, and I know you'd love to have it. And I even did that on a more recent timeline than him. He said he's bought his car in 15. I bought my car, I think, in 2020. But let's dissect what he says here, okay? So he spent $3,200 on the car, and then he goes on to spend another $7,000 to $8,000 modding it, building it, you know, getting everything to make it sick. Going on context clues, I would assume that the car still isn't nice, because he says that, speaking from his own experience, that you cannot build a nice 240 for $10,000. He's about $11,000 in. So if from experience you can't do it, one would assume that his 240 isn't nice yet. So this seems like a classic example of initially buying the wrong car. He probably bought a piece of shit that needed way more work than he realized, thinking that he was going to be able to you know, rub it with a towel or something, and if I rub it a whole lot, it'll make it nice, you know? Like thinking it's going to become a montage of working on a car, and it's going to immediately become nice just because you worked on it. Also, it seems like he was buying performance parts, you know, before making sure the car runs right. You know, you don't need ISR adjustable control arms when the car doesn't have an engine. And you know, that's speaking from experience. And then this all led up to the biggest case of sunken cost fallacy, because he just keeps dropping money into it because that's all he knows, and he feels like if I get rid of it, he knows that he can probably only sell it for maybe what he bought it for, you know, $3,200, $4,000, and he's like, no, it's worth so much more because I dropped all this money into it. And no, that's not how it works. I asked him to email me a picture of the car so I could, you know, I wanted to put it here so I could verify my ideas. Unfortunately, he messaged me back that it's never gonna be for sale. Oh. Hello?
A few minutes later.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the call. Bye-bye. Sorry, got a phone call. Yeah, so she says never gonna be for sale. Okay, I just wanted to see a picture of it. I didn't want to buy it, you know? So I told him that. I was like, hey, we just want to see the picture. You don't want to buy it. You can keep your car. I've still yet to receive a picture of the car, so we can only speculate on the condition. But I don't know. You tell me. I think I make a pretty compelling argument here. Safe to say the car is a piece of shit. Safe to say, you know, I think I make a pretty compelling argument here, but, you know, this is not good. This is not good. I honestly think he made that comment before he watched the video, and then he just started, you know, fucking punching the air. You know, when he watched the video, he saw my car and he saw what I spent on everything because he commented again. Let's see. He said, "I think you need to rethink what you consider a budget build. You seem to think basic maintenance is part of a build. First off, and what world is a $500 radio budget? Like, actually, this is some of the most delusional, pointless ranting I've heard in my life. This is more of an opinion as opposed to everything else. But replacing shocks and wheels is not a build. That's like the bare minimum to even say you worked on the car." Ah, there it is. He's lashing out he's lashing out after being faced with reality. You know, as if looking in the mirror is the worst thing you could possibly do to him. You know, like freaking, I don't know, showing like holy water on a vampire, you know, like, no, don't show me myself. So let's dissect this one again. He says, you seem to think basic maintenance is part of a build. Sweaty, it is. If you don't think basic maintenance is part of a build, that's probably why your car doesn't run. Spending a ton of money at Injuku on performance ISR parts before the car runs, that's backwards. It's not the way you start a build. You have to get it running. You have to baseline it first and then see what you want to do to it. That might be a hard pill to swallow, but I think I can get you some water. He goes on to say, and what world is a $500 radio budget? Okay, so this is a weird one because initially he was happy to proclaim his Injuku gold level baller stack dropper status. Now he's upset at me for buying a $500 radio. Now, In my defense, it is a really sick head unit. It's the perfect detail piece, and the build is just a lot of small details. And that detail, in my opinion, was a necessity. It's gorgeous, fits very well with the car, looks fantastic, and it gives it a nice, unmolested, period correct look while still giving me the modern conveniences of Bluetooth, listening to music from my phone, connecting it to the car stereo, and I have music, I have directions. Now, builds are like that sometimes. There's some things that you're not willing to compromise on, and that's just a fact of the matter. If you need this, if you have to have that in your build, you're going to have to take it away from somewhere else if you're staying on a budget. And that's perfectly fine. That's part of the game. Admittedly, I did splurge a bit, but I needed that head unit. And if I were to start all over again, 100% I would buy that head unit over again. He goes on to say in his rant, actually, this is some of the most delusional and pointless rambling I've heard in my life. Again, he's forced to look in the mirror and he's disgusted. He's repulsed at what he sees. He's trying to project here, kind of sad. And yeah, he then finishes this tour de force by saying, this is more of an opinion as opposed to everything else, but replacing shocks and wheels is not a build. That's like the bare minimum to say that you worked on a car. So here he's attempting to invalidate my two builds by, moving the goalposts, saying they don't count. Only what he's doing, that's actually a build. With me, nah, that doesn't count. What I'm doing, I did a build, you do not. Now, if he's saying, oh, if you're patient and you wait for the right car and it's for the right price and it's a good deal and you buy it and you get a good deal and then you do only good things to it, that's cheating. That's cheating. That's not a real build. You have to do it the way I do it and drag your balls through miles of broken glass because you like it and that's fun, okay? Well, sorry to tell you, that's not how it works. This is just more air punching because he realized that he's spent $11,000 or more over the course of 10 years and he doesn't even have a nice 240 yet. And I did that in, half the time for $10,000. And my car was nice the whole time, He's mad. He's upset about it. And this is what I'm trying to get you guys, my virtual car friends, watching to avoid. And that's the entire reason why I kind of started ranting on YouTube. This advice that I give you guys, it's good advice, it's solid advice, and again, it's coming from experience. I'm trying to save you the money from making these wrong decisions. Save you time, save you money. Money, yeah, sure, you could probably get it back. Time is precious. Time you can't get back. So don't waste your time building the wrong car. Wait for the right car to come up. If we all do that, and I've said this before, the bad cars that these unscrupulous sellers try to prop up and say, oh, it's $5,000 for a shell, dude, that's what they're going for. No, I'll spend $10,000 on a nice running one, thanks. Now, you're going to run into guys like this all the time. And while this guy, he might feel better, he might be proud of himself for roasting me. But actually, I really do kind of feel bad for him. He's probably surrounded himself with enablers his whole life. And this has led to where he is at now with his car. There's, in all likelihood, maybe he'll finish it one day and he'll have a nice car. But in the end, it's at what cost? He could have finished it a lot sooner and for a whole lot less money had he just started with the right piece from the beginning. He's basically been trying to goon with sandpaper this whole time when Tengas exist. Now, as much as these guys are going to try to bring you down, remember that that's all they can do. As much as this dude yelled into the void, trying to bring me down, all the typing he does, he can type till his freaking fingertips are bloody. It doesn't change the fact that I have two very nice cars, both of them that I built for about $10,000, and I can enjoy them and drive them whenever I want. They both have air conditioning and heater, and they're comfortable. I can drive them in all 4 seasons and have fun and love them. Nothing anybody comments can change that. Now, don't let people like this guy tell you that if you stay OEM, it's not a build, or if you only do such and such to it, it's not a build. Okay, so then why are all these you know, cars going across the Barrett-Jackson auction block, mostly OEM looking, purely OEM or with the very slightest of modifications. So you're telling me that all those restoration shops that are working on these cars, oh, those aren't builds, dude. You're kind of leaving it stock. That's not a build. No. There's a reason that builds like this are the ones that stand the test of time. So remember that these guys are just getting upset at their own shortcomings, and they're trying to project those negative feelings onto you. Don't let it happen, guys. Let it go. Who cares? Because you know what you have, and in the end, that's really what matters. Oh, except for stickers. Stickers aren't a build. Well, alright guys, thank you for watching another video. Had a lot of fun. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.